want to, amen, ideally, along with you to wrestle with this morning. Amen. One give confirmation to the other. One is a breakthrough for the other. One breaks the ice so the other one can help milk the ice. Amen. The psalmist writer, amen, in the 16th division of Psalms number 16. I pray that you do have a Bible that you did not rip out that page. I know how we like to fold pages and highlight pages and mark up pages, and y'all, I'm trying to talk to some Bible readers for a minute. And sometimes pages get torn and we have to put some Scotch tape in there. And Scotch tape starts showing his age, start turning yellow. Can't even read the words. That's a time, that's a good time, amen. You go get a new outfit, go get a new Bible. Amen. I've never heard some people, some of the idiotic stuff that people say, I don't get the same thing out of the new Bible as I did. It's the same word. Amen. Amen. Fold the pages in the new one, highlight the one. Psalms number 16. Amen. And let me read real quickly, starting at verse number 8. And it says there, my reading may be slightly different. I have set the Lord always before thee, because he is at my right hand. I shall not be moved. Therefore my heart is glad and my glory rejoiceth. My flesh also shall rest in hope. For thou wilt not leave my soul in hell, neither wilt thou suffer thy Holy One to see corruption. Thou wilt show me the path of life. In thy presence is fullness of joy. At thy right hand there are pleasures forevermore. Somebody ought to say amen. Amen. Come on here, let's go to our subject, amen. And John, amen, recording of the events that took place. John, amen, the writer, amen, helps us in John chapter number 20. Yeah, John chapter number 20. Yeah. Traditionally, amen, our focus is on verse number 1 through 10. But I want you to, amen, spiritually look at verse number 11. Amen. I want to look at verse number 11. And there you will find these words, amen. Again, my reading may be a little different. But Mary stood without at the sepulchre, weeping. And as she went and wept, she stooped down and looked into the sepulchre, and seeth two angels in white sitting, the one at the head and the other at the feet, where the body of Jesus has lain. And they said unto her, Woman, why weepest thou? She saith unto them, Because they have taken away my Lord, and I know not where they have laid him. Now y'all gonna help me on this one here. She still think he's dead. And when she had thus said, she turned herself back and saw Jesus standing, and knew not that it was Jesus. Jesus saith unto her, Woman, why weepest thou? Repeating the same thought. Whom seekest thou? She, supposing him to be the gardener, saith unto him, Sir, if thou have bore him hence, have taken him somewhere, tell me where hast thou laid him? I will just drag him back to the tomb. Y'all ain't gonna help me in this place. I will just take him away. And Jesus said unto her, Mary. And she turned herself and said unto him, Rabbi, which is to say, Master. I just want to talk briefly, amen. If y'all give me the amens, I'll just breeze right through this thing. I want to talk on the subject matter of the power after the storm. Y'all better be seated before I start shouting now. The power after the storm. Amen. Those who taking notes, just jot that down. The power, there's some power after the storm. I wish I had help in here. The true aspect of life has always been one that sometimes will move people, amen, in the directions in which their pain or their suffering or their feelings will take them. Most of the times, whenever we are going through the hardship of whatever we consider to be hardship of life, we find out that the compounding aspect of those things will move us into a place of joy because we're rejoicing because everything became the way we wanted. Or we move into a place of sadness because it seems as though that everything is coming apart. That being said, amen, there is the crushing aspect of things in life in which we have to go through. These are the things that, amen, that sometimes some theologians say we trespass ourselves into based on the mere fact, pastors, is because of the fact we did not belong in that situation in the beginning. So we are transgressors or trespassers through that situation. But then whenever we fall into the arms of God, we have to understand that it's God who's showing us that you're no longer considered or characterized as a trespasser. Amen. You are now someone in which I have arranged for you to go through the things you had to go through because you know you have an ever-present help. With that being said, we have to understand that there are some entanglable things that we know we have to deal with. There are moments in life when we can come to church with a multiplicity of things weighing our shoulders down. And when we leave church, it seems as though we're still carrying those burdens behind us. It's kind of wild to understand, deacons, that we can come to church and for just 2 moments, amen, we can forget all about our situations of life. But it seems as though that soon as the worship has ended and the music has stopped, it seems as though that our problem has been said to us, I was just waiting on you to get done. I just sat my behind right there until you got done shouting and everything else. And I wanted you to remember that I still got your burden waiting on you. But we have to go through some things to understand that God has taken us through the things of life to show us the reward in when you go through a storm. There are some rewards, amen, when you go through something, deacons, because there are some special spiritual benefits when you go through the narrow passageways of life in which you have to go through some things to recognize that the Lord is still all good. With that being done, amen, we know that, amen, there will be some suffering of some things of life. None of us will ever go past the suffering channel or the suffering turn. We have to sojourn through some hardship, and sometimes we have to go through the pain and the agony of tears and the complications of life that sometimes will even afflict our bodies that we don't even understand the reasons of why. But the capitalizing situation that we go through, we have to understand God will give us a capitalizing spirit to be able to know that though he slay me, yet I got somebody that I can trust in. With this ever so knowing that I got God on my side. It doesn't matter the lifestyle that I continue to live on. I know that God is true to his word and God will never leave his own in hell's hand. That I know that sometimes we don't understand the implications of life in which we have to go through. These are the steps, amen, to be able to understand that heaven is our home. Amen. If we didn't go through anything, we would never be able to understand when others are calling out for help because we don't even know how to identify we're going through because we've never been through nothing in our lives. But it's through faith. Somebody say faith. Somebody say faith. It is through faith that allows us to understand that even though I'm feeling as though that I'm stuck between a rock and some other boulders, I still have enough sense of the matter to understand that if God takes me through it, he will bring me out. I know. It is always sometimes, amen, so hard to acknowledge the fact that some of us are going through some things. Is, amen, we do know how to put on our Mary Kay. We know how to put our whole spray in our hair. And we know how to put, as my daddy would say back in the day, some cockaline in your hair and slick your hair on back. Amen. So that nobody can really see the troubles that you've been through. But then when you take off the, amen, and use the Noxzema and take off all the mascara and you go ahead and use, and y'all ain't gonna help me in this place, get all of the stuff out of your hair. You have to face in the mirror the real person, amen, that's been hiding behind all of the makeup. But the great thing about God is, I feel like shouting right about this. The great thing about God is that even though I have to go through these ever so changeable things in my life, I still have the presence of mind to understand that if God can just reward me with one more dance, if God can just, amen, allow me to just sing his praises one more time, I know that the things I'm going through, amen, won't be able to hold on to me no longer because I got a sense of understanding. If I can sing, I'll get myself out of it. If I can dance, I'll dance my way out of it. No matter what way I get out of it, as long as I can get out of it, it will surely give give God some praise. It is God, amen, from the very beginning of time, Genesis report, amen, unto us that we are the instruments, the handiwork of who God has created. And God did not just create us, amen, to be retreaters, amen, to revert back to the old. But he empowered us so that we can have a fight. And he expects us, somebody better help me in here. He expects us that when we go through a battle or a fight, that we should go through it with some gladness on our mind. That no matter what I got to go through, it's going to still be all right. No matter how hard the situation may appear, it's still going to be all right. No matter how bad my body is racking with pain, and I got to use some other devices just to get around the house, it's still going to be all right. And every now and then you got to say to somebody, even when you're going through some hard times of your life, and you know that your storm seems like it never will let up, and the thunderbolts are still coming down, and you hear somebody else say it's going to be a good day, and you got to reply by saying what is good about this day. But you got to look at the positive side. Amen. He could have left me on my cooling bed. He could have left me the way I used to be. But thank